Hello everybody and welcome to a game between Digital Chaos and Stake Gaming for the Captain's Draft 3.0 presented by Dota Cinema and Moonduck TV. I'm casting this game because I can literally cast nothing else. The new patch screwed up all replays, well not all of them, all replays that are older than the patch, which is basically every single professional game except for this one, at least as of time of recording, which is great. Now, I still need to record videos, so we're gonna just go ahead and cast this game, and I'm sorry if you have seen this before, you probably have, but I just don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. Custom games are broken, replays are broken, the only thing I can do is like regular Dota and this single match, and I already recorded regular Dota, I don't want to do 2 of those a day, so I guess we're stuck with this. Fun times. Anyway. Let's just get to it, shall we? So, I like casting the Captain's Draft 3.0 anyway, because I think it's a very fun, very interesting tournament. We're gonna be seeing Digital Chaos versus Stake Gaming. I actually want to like use this opportunity to remedy some things I said last time about Stake Gaming. It seems that Stake Gaming is actually a serious team. I kind of made it look like it wasn't too serious just because I knew Cinderin was on it, and I thought Cinderin like was happy with his career as a caster and as an analyst. Mostly just because I would be happy with that, right? Like, I personally would prefer that just much more than being a professional player. But that's alright, you know, everybody has their own suit, right? Everybody has what they like. And Cinderin seems to actually be seriously interested in competing. I've read an article in which, well, let me actually take that back. I read the headline of an article. The start of an article. I didn't actually get around to reading all of it. But parts of it where Cinderin talked about how he actually plans on taking Stake Gaming pretty far, and they are hoping to actually get an invite to a major, the International specifically. So, this is actually a bit more serious than I assumed, right? So yeah, anyway. And of course we have Team Digital Chaos, which is in no way associated with Dota Cinema at all. Obviously. So yeah. Anyway. We're just gonna go ahead and take a look at this game. We got Gyrocopter, Shadow Shaman, Dragon Knight, and Ogre Magi for Digital Chaos so far. Probably looking at an offlaner, if I had to guess, right? Something like a Magnus. That's actually Prime Canada right here. Magnus, Slaughter. Oh, there we go, Slaughter. The other side has Dazzle, Faces Void, Lina, Crystal Maiden, and Doom. Doom always scary, but I don't actually think Doom does super well here. Dooming a Dragon Knight, not the biggest of deals. Honestly, Dragon Knight is fine usually because you activate the transformation at the start of the fight anyway. And then you're kind of Gucci. But at the same time, you gotta keep in mind that Doom, if he gets Aghanim's, he's gonna be able to take away Dragon Knight's passive, which is kind of a big deal, I suppose, right? That's 12 armor gun, 12 regeneration gun. You know, Doom is just a really solid hero in general. Dooming a Gyrocopter, not necessarily the greatest thing in the world either, but it's not too bad, right? He does actually spam a little bit. But I think actually Gyrocopter is very similar to a Dragon Knight, as in you just push E before a fight, right? And then for the next 30 seconds, you don't really need to use any other abilities. I mean, you want to, but it's not that big of a deal if you don't, right? So, I think the Doom is a bit of a tricky pick here, but again, it's Captain's Draft, so in Captain's Draft you have to keep in mind, sometimes you just have to make a pick. Like, you just pick a hero, not because he's the best hero for the situation, it's just because he's a good hero and you want to have him and you don't want the enemies to get him, right? Like, for example, let's say DC got the Doom instead of Stake, right? If Stake Gaming let the Doom slip through and DC, they still had a spot for an offline Doom, they could definitely make that work, right? They pick up the Doom, all of a sudden, Doom just destroys Stake. They just run them over, so that's something we're trying to avoid.
Let's keep it clean, folks.
Anyway, let's go and take a quick look at the players. We've got TC playing the Gyrocopter, currently in the top lane, Birio on the Ogre Magi, AUI 2000 on the Shadow Shaman, all three kind of setting up the top lane. In the mid lane we got Yavar on the Dragon Knight, and Bulba on the Slaughter. At the bottom, Era gonna be playing the Doom, Seal Kid on the Dazzle, Fogged on the Crystal Main, Slicks on the Lina, and Cinderin on the Faceless Void. Was this not the hero he played last time? No, he played Abaddon last time, if I remember correctly, but anyhow. Actually, Cinderin runs into the Ogre Magi right away, and look at that, he has the Iron Talon at level 1, he actually seems to really like that item. It's kind of interesting, I think. And look at that! Look at Birio just blocking this camp right away. He's not gonna put up with any of this nonsense, right? He doesn't want to allow Cinderin to farm up those creeps. And Seems like a decent idea. And look at that, Cinnamon is still around. It really seems to me like he's just waiting for this camp, and he's going to be very disappointed when he sees that it is actually blocked. Mid lane will be Lina against Dragon Knight. That's actually kind of a hard matchup for... I don't know. Actually, wait, I was about to say for the Dragon Knight, but... Dragon Knight... Okay, so let's go ahead and say it this way, right? Dragon Knight deals really, really well with physical damage. Doesn't really do much against magic, right? He deals super well with physical damage because of the passive, obviously. But against magic, right, he's kind of a little stuck. He doesn't really have a way of staying out of the lane. It's just against the Lina. The problem is not that he deals worse with magic damage than every other melee hero, but he's still a melee hero, and basically every melee hero in the game is going to lose against a Lina in the mid lane, which is the problem, right? So I'm not entirely convinced how well this is going to work out for him. But he already picks up a point into the Dragon Blood, so at least he's got that regeneration going, he got the armor going on, and it's going to be an interesting matchup. If the Dragon Knight actually manages to stabilize to a certain extent, where he manages to get his regeneration going to a level where he will be able to actually just take the nukes from the Lina, in that case I can actually really see Yavar doing fine. But that's going to be a bit tough against Slicks. Bottom lane is going to be the Ogre Magi and the Slaughter going up against Doom and Dazzle. So it's just a safe lane Doom, which I think is interesting. Already putting an early point into the Infernal Blade, so I assume that's mostly just for harassing Bulba whenever he comes into the lane, right? Get a strong hit in. That Infernal Blade hurts, and it's only 40 mana now. 40 mana is actually quite a bit for Doom, because this hero has like no fucking mana. But at the same time, it's not that much if you have a Crystal Maiden. Right, you have the Crystal Maiden supplying you with the aura, you should be fine. And one of the nice things about Crystal Maiden as a support is she can actually just jungle and she will be fine. Right, some supports can jungle a little bit, and like usually they need to pull for it, and it's kind of awkward, and it doesn't really work that well. Crystal Maiden can just straight up jungle. Right, it's not even just like she can kind of jungle. No, she can just straight up jungle. She'll be fine. This hero can totally jungle starting at level 1. Absolutely not a problem. And actually look at Cinderin, the Faceless Void. Yeah, he just seems to like this, right? I don't know, he does this a lot. Like, that's the exact same thing he did last time. Instead of even going into the offlane, he just hits creeps in the jungle. Right, this is where he farms. He doesn't farm here. He doesn't even go here. He's just like, whatever, I'll go into the jungle, right? Get myself a little stronger, get myself a little more powerful, and then I'll just go from there, right? I'll just make sure I have some money, and then I'll go into the offlane when I feel I'm safer. That seems like an interesting idea, but at the same time, not. Well, I don't know. Against a Shadow Shaman, it might actually be the right call, right? The shackles keep you in place for longer than 2 seconds, but I don't know. Like, I get where this is coming from, but at the same time, it always seems to me like just giving up the safe lane completely. Yes, Void is not going to apply any pressure on the lane, right? But he doesn't have to. Void applies pressure on the lane just through being in the lane, through saying, if you leave, I'll be able to farm up, right? And that's kind of a problem, I guess. But, you know, I'm sure he knows what he's doing, and we got a little bit of a rotation into the mid, but no. The Dragon Knight will end up being fine. And one of the kind of awkward things about Dragon Knight is you really want a Dragon Blood, right? You want more of it than just 1 point into it. But you can't really afford to do so, right? You obviously need to max out Breathe Fire. Like, that's not a choice. And you need a point into Dragon Tail because it's really good. And, you know, if you want to have any shot at ganking anything ever, then you need a point into Dragon Tail. But that means you can't get more Dragon Blood until quite a bit into the game. And actually, we got quite a fight going on here. Cinderin is still chasing down the Dragon Knight. He's slowed. I wonder if that's going to be enough. In the meantime, Slick's taking a lot of damage. AOI, he just wants to hit. He just wants to hit. Doesn't quite connect with it. Shadow Shaman, of course, only having 500 range. It's a lot, but it's not going to be enough right there. And Dragon Knight just runs back into the mid lane. But yeah, that's one of those things where with Dragon Knight, I'm like, man, I really wish I had just more of the E because it regenerates so much. It is such a huge bonus. But at the same time, you just can't afford to do so, right? You need to stun. And, oh god, really? How even? What happened here? Okay, so there's Fogged. And then AOI just runs in from the back and they just insta-kill him. Alright. Yeah, I'm sorry, I did not see that coming at all, but... Well, they get the first blood at the top lane. And they're gonna also go ahead and take the tower really quick. I'm sure that... yeah, I'm sure that DC doesn't mind getting a little bit of a gold boost this early on. So, we'll just go ahead and take those. And, well, in the meantime, Stake is just still continuing on with their farm, right? They're at the bottom lane. They're, you know, kind of just getting the Doom big and scary. And that's generally a good strategy. I think Doom is one of those heroes where if you get him big and scary, he becomes really big and really scary. I mean, Doom is kind of nasty. So having him just going crazy on a team, generally something that's advisable, right? In terms of farm, it seems that, you know, Gyrocopter and Doom, of course, are ahead of everybody. I'm not surprised by that. But mid lane is actually really even. Both the Lina and the Dragonite are kind of trading hits back and forth. I mean, they're both fire types, so they aren't necessarily going to get a kill on each other. It's not really, you know, an effective way of going about it. But of course, Lina now has an electric type move that should work against what I assume is a steel fire type. Actually, you know what? Dragonite should be steel fire. Right? It could also be dragon fire. Or it's just pure. But Lina's obviously a pure fire type, right? She's pure fire. What is Dragonite? Is he dragon fire? Or is he steel fire? If I had to guess, I would say it's steel fire, and then he has a second form that he can use that turns him into dragon plus either poison, right? Dragon poison, dragon fire, or dragon ice. Okay, I'm spending far too much time thinking about this. Oh man. But yeah, that's all I'm saying is that the Laguna Blade is good. They're gonna find Fogged again, and even the cooldown used, it's not gonna be enough. Actually, Fog turns around! The cheeky fucker, and Slicks runs in. They get the kill. In the meantime, Crystal Maiden comes and takes her revenge. How dare you initiate on me? She gets the kill on AUI, and now maybe the turnaround? No. Ogre Magi and Starlight coming in from the back. At least managed to snipe down the Crystal Maiden after all, but that was definitely not worth it. And Slicks, yeah, he sees what's happening, right? And he just sees what's in front of him. He just sees the game, and he sees a target. Takes down the Gyrocopter. That's a big pick-off. You do not want to have that happen, especially not with the Doom still farming up at the bottom lane. He's now got his drums. I'm a little surprised that he isn't grabbing boots yet. Generally with Doom, you just buy face boots. Right, like with some heroes it's a question. With Doom, I don't know, I just always see face boots, right? But maybe he's not too sure about that, right? Maybe he's like, maybe Treads, they do have a lot of burst, so maybe he's just not that interested in upgrading his boots. I mean, that could be fine. Although I'm generally a big supporter of upgrading your boots. I think it's kind of like a rather important things to do, just because boots are so good. I mean, they upgrade really nicely, so I don't know. But one thing, by the way, that I think might also be noteworthy is that Era is actually going for more of the Inferno Blade instead of going for more Devour. Right, Devour would allow you to really snowball ahead of the game. He is the first in terms of net worth, but not by much, right? The Gyrocopter is up there, right? Gyrocopter is actually ahead of him by a tiny little bit. And, there we go, Treads coming out on the Doom. But Gyrocopter's ahead of him by a tiny little bit. And that is really because Era's not actually going for the Devour, right? Like, if you wanted to play a very passive farming Doom, then you would just max that out. But he is looking to fight, and you can already see the first rotation coming out. We have the full HP, full mana Doom ready with the ultimate. If TC gets caught out right here, and it's looking like it, Fogged is coming in from the back. They know he is here. They see him, they freeze him up, and the Doom! Just pop him right then and there. A combination of ice and fire. The Gyrocopter is not going to be singing any songs anytime soon. That's a nice pickoff, and Era's actually not quite done yet. He rotates into the top lane. Scorched Earth still active, but no, he's just gonna take a creep really quick and leave it at that. Actually gonna be farming that creep camp, sure, why not? I mean, that seems like a good idea, doesn't it? Yeah. In the meantime, Bulba finally gets some peace of mind, finally gets an opportunity to hit some creeps himself. However, he is actually doing really well, right? Considering he's on the offlane, I think the starter doesn't really have much to complain about. He's level 7 actually, and he finds Seal Kit. Maybe wants that one, but no. No, it's just gonna leave it at that. And we have a push at the bottom lane instead. The Poison Dragon activated. Tier 1 tower taking a lot of damage. It's gonna be sieged down. I don't think there's much of a defense coming out from Steak as they are too busy sniping down the Shadow Shaman at the top lane. AUI tries to TP out, but Vogt is not having him. It's not having it at all. Uses the Crystal Nowhere, finishes off the Shadow Shaman right there, and the bottom tower goes down. DC is still gonna continue pushing, and well, I guess we take those, right? I guess we take those. So, top tower is under siege as well. I think both sides are currently kind of avoiding a fight a little, right? The only one that's actively seeking opponents to punch is the Doom. Doom, of course, being very good at it. But, oh, we got a TP into the mid lane. The Faces would already use the Chronosphere. They want TC. Slicks, however, is the one getting burst down. Cinnamon gets the Gyrocopter. Got the heal from the Dazzler coming out. Bulba still trying to chase this one down, but he's slowed by Crystal Main. He's slowed by Vogt. And in the end, that's just going to be a 1-for-1 Delina for the Gyrocopter. That's actually pretty alright for Stake, I think. I think they'll take that, right? Because the Gyrocopter is actually kind of scary. You want to shut them down as much as possible. And Lina is not the kind of hero that's going to struggle too much fighting some farm. Right? She tends to do fine. You can just kind of put her into the jungle a little bit. She'll clean through it really quickly. Especially since she has the Crystal Main aura helping her out. Right? And, you know, then she's just Gucci, right? She doesn't need that much either. What you're looking for on a Lina is mostly just the Yules, right, and an Aghanims, and then you're fine. You don't need more than that. You don't need to worry about anything other than that. Of course, having more items would be appreciated, but just those two alone, they are scary, right? While Gyrocopter definitely needs substantially more. Like, Gyrocopter just requires a lot of money to have a big impact on the game. And actually, talking about impacts on the game, another smoke coming out. Stake is really using those super actively. They are all out of smokes. I wonder if they even have any left in the stash somewhere. And oh, actually, yeah, he's baited into it. He's doomed up. The Dragon Knight is taking so much damage. It's just gonna be burst down right here. Doom picks up that kill and Stake. Oh no. Well, that trap certainly worked out just fine. They're gonna mount a push into the mid now, seeing as one of the scariest heroes on DC's side is down, and well, let's go ahead and use this, right? This is an opportunity, this is a moment, this is what we have been waiting for. The cooldown, gonna slow down Era, but not much else in terms of follow-up. And at least the tower stays alive, right? Doesn't seem like Stake actually wants to commit into this. Now, DC, by the way, they have the Blink Dagger on the Dragon Knight, right? They actually have a few more items too. The Gyrocopter picking up a Helm of the Dominator. And soon, this is actually probably more important, is Bulba with his Blink Dagger as well. They're gonna attempt Roshan right now. They do have the wards down. This is always really scary to fight into, right? You don't really want to go attack the Serpent wards. You don't want to go into a fight against the Serpent wards. But you're kind of forced to right here. Oh my god, they only catch Bulba. Well, the starter should fall. No, he's actually still fine. He runs out. He crushes Faces Void. Now, Cinderin should be okay for the time being. Slicks bursts down the slaughter. It's gonna be roasted fish for dinner. And Cinderin, he's still looking for more. Crystal Main uses the ultimate in the background. Roshan is gonna be killed by the Dire, and TC picks up the edges. He bursts down Crystal Main, and now it's just Bulba. He's back in the fight. He's still looking for more. Cinderin is gonna be taken down. Just Seal Kid, now still alive, and I wonder if they can do this. Nope. At the last second, the TP finishes, and Stake do not lose the Dazzle, but in the end, DC certainly came out ahead in this one. They use buybacks. They use buybacks on the Slaughter, and they use buyback on the Ogre Magi. So, I guess the gold change is in favor of Stake, strictly speaking, but please look at where the money went. Right? Look at where the experience went. This is the problem, right? Like, this all went on the important heroes. The Slaughter lost barely anything. But the Gyrocopter certainly became very powerful in the fight. Actually, he's gonna be doomed up right now, though. Era's still looking to fight. TC tries to just juke it out of them. He has the edges. It's gonna be activated. DC needs to help him. DC needs to fight into this. The Dragon Form is gonna be active, but no. No, we're not even gonna use that one. It could have been active, but no. they just lose the gyrocopter, and Stake, they're gonna mount another push, right? They really like that 5-man strategy. That's the same thing they did in the last game we looked at as well. They just get strong early and then they overwhelm you, right? They just shut you down. They never give you an opportunity to really fight back. And DC is already feeling that. They are really feeling the pressure here. Yes, the difference in terms of net worth and gold isn't that much, but that's not the key element here, right? Look at the fighting potential of the heroes. We have the Yules done on the Lina, basically, right? Next fight she's gonna have it. Compare that to the Dragon Knight, who's got a Blink Dagger. Which of these heroes is scarier? Right, level 9 Dragon Knight or level 11 Lina with her Yules? And I'll take the Lina, right? Okay, compare other heroes. Bulba, who just now got his Blink Dagger on the starter, level 10. Or the Faceless Void, who's just finished up his well, actually Cinderin, yeah, okay, we just finished up his Vladimir's. In that case, I would actually give it to DC. Right, okay, you know what, we'll give that one to DC, we'll admit that. But then you have the Gyrocopter and you compare him to the Doom Gyrocopter, who's got a Sage and Lifesteal and Boots. Level 11. On the other side, you have the level 11 Doom. Drums, Blink Dagger, Treads. 1700 gold saved up, right? Something else is coming soon. A fighting Doom at that, right? Infernal Blade, level 4, early on. He's looking for kills, right? He's looking to take down the dire side as quickly as he can. And he's got a bit of money. I wonder what that's gonna go to. But yeah, I'll take the Doom. That's my choice right there. That's my pick. Right, and that's just DC. They may not be behind by a lot in terms of like actual money, right? But they're behind in fighting potential. And Stake likes to 5-man. They like to push early. They like to go for kills when, honestly... Or not kills, but like they like to go for your base when most teams wouldn't. Right? And this is, again, an aggressive lineup in that line of thinking. So, we'll see how this works out for them. The creep wave already taken down. And they are pushing top with all 5 of their heroes there. Now, DC seems to be avoiding the fight right now. Probably a good call, right? Dragon Knight working on the BKB. Not only does he want the BKB, but you also want the level 2 Dragon form, of course. Although that's not that big of a deal, honestly. Level 2 Dragon form is not that much more important. Just not, like, the splash is nice, but it's just, right? It's just, okay, you know what. It's one of those things that's just like, yeah, okay, you know what, this is good enough to skill, but it's just nothing to get hyped about. So, whatever. But they are just gonna go ahead and get the 5-man push at the bottom going as well. I'm actually interested why Stake is not committing to this. They have the plate mail on the Doom, so he's just looking to fight. Right, like he's just not putting up with your nonsense. Bottom tower is taking a lot of damage here with the Serpent Ward, with the Dragon Knight Pound. That's dead, that's a tier 2 dead. Stake trades for nothing. That is surprising. I'm very surprised by that. That is really, really, really weird. Well, okay, we'll just see how this works out. Right, Cinderin, by the way, he has his Vladimir's at like 1,000 gold now. So, I would assume Blink Dagger, right? Oh, wait a second. You're still up there? But you're not anymore, mate. What you doing up there, man? Well, that's a dead Doom. I'm actually kind of weirded out by that, just a little. Not entirely convinced what he was doing up there, but I suppose, like, maybe looking for a kill, you know, maybe looking to take a quick pick off and then get out, but no, not like that, man. Not like that. Is that gonna stack? No. Yeah, I don't even think you can stack it like that. Ogre Magic goes down in the mid. Yes, this game is a bit awkward to stack, let's be honest. Sage and Yasha are done on the Gyrocopter. Well, we just have some pick-offs here and there. Nothing too scary, right? Nothing too crazy. They see the ancient stack. No, don't kill Charles, that's mean. But yeah, the ancient stack, they put down the observer ward to block that. So generally speaking, if we had a point of the game like this, right, where both teams are just farming, they aren't really doing anything, and both teams are looking for something specific, right, they're looking for specific timing, for a specific item. I'm just a little lost as to what that could be, right? For the Radiant, I assume maybe Aghanim's for the Lina. If that's what she's going for. Blink? Okay. I don't mind the Blink. I think Blink is good for Lina. It's a bit of a different build, but sure, why not? Maybe Blink Dagger for the Faceless Void. If I had to guess, I would say that's probably it. Right, they need to get that Faceless Void with the Blink Dagger as soon as possible, because his initiation potential just multiplies, right? It becomes so much more powerful. But Doom is not going to get anything big anytime soon, right? Like, the Plague Mail is not going to be upgraded anytime soon. And of course, the Dazzle, I don't really know about that, or the Crystal Maiden. Now, the Crystal Maiden does carry a Veil of Discord, so she does actually deal quite a bit of damage with... she gets lucky with the ultimate, right? She can actually, like, team wipe DC. That's a nasty ability. It can be absolutely overwhelming. Okay. Bottom tower is going to be sieged on slowly. They're being very careful about this. Not willing to risk anything. On the other side, DC, I feel like they're just farming up in general. Right? Like, they want BKBs mostly. They almost have a BKB on the Dragon Knight. Their team is strong on the late game. There's no question about it. It's not even close, right? There's no comparison there. Again, Doom doesn't do super well against Dragon Knight in the late game. Doesn't really do super well against Gyrocopter either. And Slaughter, while he is a Doom target that is absolutely worthwhile, right? He also kills the Doom super quick because Doom doesn't have any armor. Right? He's buying armor right now because he's just lacking so much armor, but even after even if he were to finish in a Sword Cross right now, amplified damage would still put him at nothing. Right? And I guess that's what amplified damage does for most heroes, but it's kind of a big deal for somebody that just wants to be big and beefy and tanky like a Doom. So, I'm a bit worried about that as well. So, I just hope that Stake knows what they're doing, and that they have a plan for this. Right, that they have a strategy for this. They now have the Blink Dagger for the Faceless Void, and it seems that was actually what they were waiting for, right? You can already see them with their movement. Right, these two aren't necessarily farming this creep camp. They are just killing it while they're waiting for Slicks to get there. And yes, you can totally tell. Stake now wants to go. They now want to push. They want to go for something big. They're still taking it a bit slower, right? With Slicks being in the mid, but I'm sure he's gonna start going towards the top now. Yes, there we go. Of course, gonna blink forward. The Shadow Shaman, AUI, by the way, with a Blink Dagger, but that's not gonna be enough. Oh, yeah, that's a dead Shadow Shaman. The first hit bash, the second hit bash, and down he goes. Cinderin, showing him what he's made of. That's cheeky. Alright. Top tower under siege now, and it seems like DC is not even looking to defend. They're scared, they don't want to fight into this, but they don't have to. Right? They push pretty fast. They have the heroes needed to backdoor. So they'll just sacrifice this tower. And then get scared and run away. Alright. I mean, it is tough, right? Like, you don't want to go too crazy. At the same time, you also got nothing done. I mean, that's kind of awkward, isn't it? Oh well, BKB on a Dragon Knight now. We also saw a Blink Dagger, of course, on the Shadow Shaman, so he is getting a decent amount of farm as well. And Shadow Shaman does actually become quite powerful if you give him items. Let me be honest with you, Aghanims on Shadow Shaman, even though you don't see it often, we probably won't see it this game, right? The chance of that is like 0. But that's still a good item. Right, like, it's still really solid. So maybe. It improves your damage by a lot. It almost doubles your damage output from the Serpent Wards. Actually kind of crazy. Okay, Roshan is scouted out. Stake wants to take this one, but they see the creep. They know that they can't go in without getting detected. So they're looking for something else instead. They're sneaking around. They do have the blink daggers ready. They do have the initiation. Well, they don't have much more time though. We have the ping out from DC. However, they of course do know that, you know, or would know if something was going on, but the creep gets taken down. And DC starts moving out themselves. Another smoke. Sneaking across the battlefield. Looking for a pick-off, looking for a kill. Roshan seems pretty unlikely. I don't think Steak... or DC believes that they are actually killing Roshan, but they should be around the area. And AUI, he's looking. The smoke gets broken, so he knows they are around. And oh, Zed already catches two. He catches both the supports. Shadow Shaman gonna be burst on before he gets to do anything. He jumps forward. And Ogre Magi is just trying to keep him away. Should be able to do so, but actually Cinnamon jumps in and slows down both the Slaughter and the Ogre Magi. Doom comes in with the Shiva's Guard, and Ogre will be burst down. It's all Ogre now. And this will be the Roshan. Steak now running into the pit. They are ready to go for this one. They want it. They want it bad. This is tasty, man. This is exactly what we need at this point in time. I assume they'll put it on the Doom? Probably. I mean, it is a fighting Doom. I mean, Shiva's actually kind of really neat for Doom, by the way, because, you know, it gives you more mana, so you can spam more with the Infernal Blade. Although it's a bit overkill. You don't need that much mana, but, you know, it's for the slow as well, right? With Steak Gaming's team, the Shiva's Guard might actually be just a better fighting item over the Assault Cuirass. They don't really have anyone that right clicks. Right. I guess Faces Void does a little, and Doom does a little, and even the Lina does a little, but it's not their primary source of damage. Well, actually, I guess for the Void it is, but that's not his primary purpose. Right? Yeah, he's got a Blink Dagger, he's not working on his Aghanims, right? Slicks almost has his Aghanims as well. It's just these heroes, yeah, they can right-click people and they can actually deal a decent amount of damage doing it. That's not what the hero is though, right? There's kind of a difference there. And, well, Roshan, he does have the amplified damage on him, and they just pop. Look at this! The Serpent Wars, but Doom in the meantime, he's going for Bulba. AUI locks him down, but TC doesn't care. They're just gonna take down Roshan really quick. Bulba should fall right there to the Doom. Cinnamon actually is the one to pick up that kill. However, Roshan taken down, and DC does retreat afterwards. So that's kind of 2 kills for a Roshan, which is an interesting trade. Oh, maybe? No. Not quite. Not quite. Almost has the Aghanims. Just needs a few more creeps. Doesn't quite get them right there. I actually don't like that. I think that's a misplay from Steak. Okay, so that may not seem like a big deal, right? But if the Lina had an Aghanims incoming, I think they could have pushed. Right? And she needed to get it there though. So what they had to do is like sacrifice, or like make sure that Lina gets 2 creeps. Then they put it on the courier and have it incoming. But they can't do it afterwards, right? Like if you wait, if you say, okay, just kill the next creep wave, then the courier is not going to get there in time. You will not have it when you actually fight, right? When you actually force something. So that might actually have been a scenario where something tiny like that actually cost them a lot of time. Because as you can see, the push right now is not happening. It might also be because they're scared of the gyrocopter. However, you can't be scared of the gyrocopter. The longer this takes, the more scary he becomes. He now finishes up the BKB. You have the Dragonite who has a Sange, so likely gonna be Heaven? No, that's a Sange Yasha probably. Sivage? I can actually see a Sivage, although I'm not really sure why exactly, but it kind of makes sense to me, so I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta go with your gut feeling, right? You have the Dragon Form activated, and they're gonna be trying to maybe force something. Of course, minus armor is ticking, so Dragonite and Gyrocopter are in a bit of an awkward spot. But that should be a dead tower nonetheless. TC picks it up, and DC falls back. Lots of C's. TC, DC. But they fall back. They don't want to die. They don't want to go overly crazy. BKB now coming out on the Doom. It was honestly just a matter of time until we see that item from him. I'm not at all surprised. I also think this is definitely the right choice. Right. Oh, that's awkward. There we go.
Alright, carry on.
Definitely the right choice, right? You just gotta have a way to deal with the lockdown and with the magic damage. There's a lot of it coming out. And it's scary, and you need something. And the BKB is definitely more than just something. That's a scary item. Synorin, getting pretty close to the Aghanim, actually. However, right now both teams are still just farming up. Man, I can't blame DC, but I'm blaming Stake a little. It seems like they should be doing things, right? But they are just not. Now, at the same time, right, you gotta keep in mind that while they are not necessarily forcing any fights right now, they are getting items that are really valuable. And maybe, just maybe, they're not looking to finish at 30 minutes, more at 40, right? 45 at the latest. And that's definitely possible with a team like this. Even though it doesn't necessarily have like that big, scary, like, right-click late-game hero. I guess Faces Void could still fill that role, even though he won't. But even though they don't have that guy, they do have a lot of late-game potential. Doom is basically able to shut down one of their carriers or just be like, nah, you're just not doing much. He's gonna be able to like just straight up fight him, right? And then you have the Faces Void, who of course has the big Chronosphere, which is always scary. Especially if you consider the Crystal Maiden. Okay, so I actually think the Crystal Maiden might play a big part here. She deals a lot of damage. And if the BKBs run out and you get them in a chrono, or you catch them before they BKB in a chrono, Crystal Maiden can kill them really quickly. Super quickly. Especially considering she does have a Veil of Discord, so gonna be interesting to see. Also, the Dragon Knight just lost his armor. Well, that's interesting. I don't... Good sir, where did your armor go? I would actually like to have it back if that's alright. I mean, it's kind of odd. Well, they put down the Serpent Ward. They even activate the Dragon form. And TC is just sitting in the front. Gotta keep in mind this guy has the edges. So jumping him, not really the greatest choice. It's not the guy you want to go on. And there goes the tower. Yeah, it's always difficult, right? They have a hero with an Aegis. So do you jump him? Do you initiate on that guy, or do you just let him do what he wants? I mean, if we initiate on him, then... If we kill him, and then they jump us, and then we die and lose. So we can't do that. We can't also just let him take all of our towers. This is difficult, man. This is hard. You gotta wait for an opportune moment, right? You gotta wait for something that allows you to actually go in and take down some people, but... They didn't get that right there. Well, back to farming. Alright. 4 staff now down on AUI. The Gyro going for the MKB. I'm not surprised by that. Either that or Butterfly, but there's not really much of a need for Butterfly, so rather the higher damage item, right? But we also have 4 staff on the Dazzle, also a gem, right? The Lina now has the Aghanims, the Faces Void now has the Aghanims, the Doom has his BKB, so the core items are done.
Dire's mid tower won't last much longer.
They gotta do a thing. And yes, there we go, that's what I'm talking about. They're now finally looking for a kill of sorts, and they really need to. Because on the other side, Dragon Knight now has a Ancient Yasha, right? The Slaughter getting really close to his BKB. I mean, you gotta start going at some point. You can't sit in your base for the whole game. That's not gonna win the game for you. But we finally see at least a somewhat of a push from Stake. Tower is taking a decent amount of damage here. They just have Slick sitting in the back, kind of like being a bit of a douchebag about it, but that's fine.
Mid-tower won't last much longer. Radiant's top tower's in bad shape. No breaking through
And,
the Dire's structures for now. Dire's mid-towers.
that should be that tower.
Hope the Dire weren't partial to that mid-tower.
That should be a dead tower. No, don't eat Charles. That's not nice, asshole. Okay. Okay, okay. Well, the Dragon Knight doesn't have armor anymore. Good job, Dota. The poor guy. Why no more armor? No more armor at all. BKB or the Crystal Maiden. That Crystal Maiden is farmed, man. Look at her. Look at that maiden. She's the most farmed support in the game. She's actually kind of scary. Like, she can deal a lot. Do not underestimate a Crystal Maiden's damage. A Crystal Maiden can hurt so bad. This ultimate deals... Okay, look. Every 0.1 seconds and an explosion occurs for a total of 100 explosions, right? 100 times 170 damage. That's 17,000 damage. Now, of course, that's not gonna hit... You know, that's spread out over this area. But that doesn't matter because it's 17,000 damage. That hurts. 17,000 damage hurts no matter what you're doing, right? So, that's kind of scary. That's not even max ultimate. It doesn't even have Aghanim's. With Aghanim's, that shit becomes even scary. It's 31,000 damage at that point. I mean, that can be a bit silly. Or that can be a little silly. That's all I'm saying. So there's always the option, or like the possibility of the Void getting like the Dream Chronosphere. And then the Crystal Maiden getting the Dream Ultimate on top of that. And you just destroy him and win the video game. Now this Roshan is actually big. That's gonna be a cheese, I believe. Oh, you gotta commit! No, you're too slow. Cinder and attack it! He's trying to sit back and get a Chronosphere. Oh, they're making this much slower than it needs to be. It should still be fine. I don't think DC knows. No, they don't. They don't know at all. So that's a kill. Did you really forget about the cheese? Come on, man. You want to get invited to the international, don't you? You have the Yules coming out on the Ogre Magi. And okay, there goes that. Just the defensive Yules. Just the defensive Yules. Well, well, well. Why don't you use the Devour? Oh, wait, no, that creep doesn't have an ability. I mean, you should totally use the Devour right there just so he gets more money. I don't get that. No, well. He's working on an Assault Cuirass now. Just stacking up further armor. Not a bad choice. Not a bad choice, right? You just gotta make sure you can actually take some hits. That's hard against the Slaughter. Also, Assault Cuirass is just nice to have. So. Well, Steak. You have an Aegis now and a cheese. I mean, you gotta start doing something eventually. But no. Dragon Knight. Oh, look at him. He looks like he needs a clipboard. This guy totally needs like a clipboard. Oh, man. That would be funny. Well, BKB is now down on Bulba. I mean, the problem is just that those heroes are like, they're just like, how do you fight this now? Right, how do you deal with DC's BKBs? I mean, okay, you have Doom and Laguna Blade, both of, and I guess Chronosphere. Okay, that's good. Right, but in the end, I mean, Doom and Laguna Blade are not enough to kill somebody. So, Chronosphere isn't either. They don't die in that, and you kind of need more than just those few abilities, right? And the BKBs just stop that from happening. That's kind of a problem. Well, Gyrocopter could buy his MKB if he wants it. Could also be Divine Rapier just because he can. You know, mostly for the swag. That's really the only thing that matters. Just the swag. Well, we're still just farming though. Maybe Steak also wants an Assault Cross. Maybe. I don't know. Wonder what Synerin is actually going for. I'll be really happy if it's Refresher. Well, it's not a bad build actually. Like Refresher, Aghanim's on Void is super scary. I mean, that's a long disable. And 2 of them? Holy crap. Right, like, you get 2 Chronospheres, 6 seconds stun. And the second one is usually easier to hit too, just because you already, you know, stunned people in the first one, so you get to set up the second one, but right now you just gotta do something. Bottom barracks just goes down, they just lose it. They just lose bottom barracks to the solo Shadow Shaman. Who is, by the way, now starting to work on an Aghanims. That's kind of bad. Alright. Well, you're down in barracks now. It's just like, nothing happened. It's just, you're not making any progress at all. I mean, you're still slightly ahead, but 5 grand at this point doesn't matter. That's not even relevant. And you're down in barracks. I mean, okay, it's just a ranged barracks, but this still pushes. Right, like, this lane is still always gonna be pushed. It just seems like DC is just slowly winning the game. Right, look, they're not ahead yet, but the gyrocopter is, right? And you gotta keep in mind, like, the thing about this, right? This graph doesn't tell the whole truth, because you have Doom on your side. Doom cheats. Doom has more money. Doom needs more money, right? Because one of his abilities only gives him money. So he only has 3 abilities, technically speaking. Kind of. Not really. I guess he has the aura, but, you know, that's not that great. Because it doesn't really work with his skill set that well. I mean, Doom needs more money to be able to keep up with you. So honestly, like, Doom is quite a bit behind. I would argue Doom is actually worse off than the Lina. But wait, he gotta have more than that, right? No? Didn't he have the same items for like an hour now? Oh, he bought TP boots. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, that's what you get for running around with all the TP. You get backdoored, man. They blink in, they find AUI. That's a good pickoff. I mean, that's nice, quick, and easy. That's pretty solid, but that's still just a Shadow Shaman. I mean, that's a support. That's the 3rd lowest farm in the game. But this is better. They find TC and they burst him. Use all 3 of their big ultimates for it, but the gyrocopter is still down. He has buyback ready, but... you know, that's not necessarily something you just want to use freely, so... now we're gonna have to carefully consider if we want to actually go for it. Yes, he should buy back, but... you know what? That's fine. Maybe DC can hold anyway, but just buy back, man. You know you have to. Yeah, you see that? You see this? It's buying back on TP again. Cliff. Okay. I mean, Bulba's still in the back. Okay, you got the amplified damage. They are waiting for the Shadow Shaman to resurrect. They're now losing mid barracks. Dragon Knight jumps in, he activates the BKB, the buyback from the gyrocopter coming out as well. The slow already on Doom. Doom just can't really do much right here. He's just gonna be locked down. Synerin uses the Chronosphere. The huge heal from the leap away. The gyrocopter. He uses the cooldown. Crystal Main pops the ultimate. And oh my god! Dragon Knight is down! Shadow Shaman is down! They get absolutely destroyed. The pause. The Dragon Knight gets disconnected. Well, okay, he was dead anyway. I mean, that doesn't really matter. I mean, that's kind of an awkward pause, let's be honest. Alright, we take those. He has reconnected to the game. We get back into the fight. Ogre Magi, he is slowed by the Shiva's guard. Well, not yet, but he will be. There we go, and he goes down as well. Dragonite can buy back, but holy crap, Crystal Maiden just won him the game probably. And my Dota crashed. My Dota crashed. Really? Really? My Dota crashed. In a replay that was played today. It's updating something. Oh my fucking god. You know, this shit would be excusable if Valve wasn't a billion-dollar company. Alright, what game was it? This one. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't really do much. Now you saw the time, how long it takes, but again, I can't really do much about that. I mean, we gotta get back into the game somehow, right? So, look here. Nah, that's probably far. Yeah, that's not enough. Nope. Yeah, that's better. Okay, they get the kills. Brr. They're gonna go ahead and take down the snakes really quick. Oh, man. This is ridiculous. Yeah, I'm not recording anything else today. I just gotta give up on this shit. Oh well, they're gonna go ahead and take down the barracks. Gyrocopter is still alive though, and Dragonite can buy back. But mid barracks go down anyway. Now, funnily enough, bottom barracks is taking a lot of damage. They ping it out so they know. And never disconnect. Okay. There we go. Top now taking a lot of damage. You have the amplify damage coming out on the Faceless Void, and they're just still sieging this down. I can't believe the Dragonite still hasn't bought back. He has the money. It's not on cooldown. It is not. He's just not buying back. That is mind-boggling. Okay, Syndra needs to BKB out of this one. Yes, Blink available. Oh, ho, ho, the bash. Oh, another! Blinks into the trees. Uses the Chronosphere just to, you know, get himself out of there. Not actually that bad of a play, in my opinion. I mean, that's actually fine. Chronosphere does only have 60 seconds cooldown, so why not, right? I can't believe the Dragonite didn't buy back. Is it because of the disconnects? No, that doesn't make sense. I mean, they wouldn't unpause unless he was back in the game. Oh, actually, Crystal Main. Close call right there. Close call, but she will be fine. That is mind-blowing. Okay. Barracks almost goes down, but that's fine. I mean, they have 2 lanes down now. I mean, okay, right, you gotta keep in mind, well, Dragonite doesn't have ultimate ready. Yes! But fuck me, you gotta buy him back just so he can create a threat. Right? Just so you don't get the barracks... No, they don't get the barracks for free. I think that's a free Yoga Magi. ITC is now coming in. Oh, they actually kill Slicks immediately! Seal Kid gonna be burst down as well. Era is now caught out and... He's dead. Like, he's not caught out. He's dead. Oh, actually, Syndarin! The big counter on 4 heroes! AUI, he's gonna be burst down. Gyrocopter murdered by Era, and now the fish also gets roasted up. Viva needs to blink away, but the GG is called by DC. This was the sloppiest game I've ever seen. Holy crap. This was just sloppy. But that's alright, whatever. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a rating on the video. I'm sorry about the little intermission. I mean, Dota shouldn't crash during a replay, but it did, so what the fuck. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video and see you tomorrow.